This is HBR News number, I'm trying to remember what number we're on, 387, the Ballad of Taylor Lorenz, and women are being excluded from gaming, where we talk about the stories of the week and give it the Badger treatment. Oh, that took a little longer than I thought.
We're being what?
What do you mean we're being what?
Women are being what?
What did I say?
Excluded from gaming?
Yeah.
Is that
excluded
I didn't see that one.
the gaming club, the gaming crucible, whatever it is, what like the organization.
So what's that thing I've been doing my whole life?
I don't know, but as the CEO of gaming, you shouldn't be doing that. If it involves fun for you and not for us. Yep. So, hello everyone and welcome to Honey Badger Radio. Hope you guys are doing well this week and that you're laughing at all of this absurdity so that it does not consume you. My name is Brian Martinez and I'm joined by my co-hosts right now, Mike J. and Hannah Wallen. Dr. Ranmercam is with family for the holidays, so all I will say is, whatever it is they say in England, Happy Yule, Happy Christmas to Dr. Ranmercam, and have a drink on me if you can. And I am really happy for him to be able to go see his family around this time of year, because I'm not going to be able to. Sad. All right. So, but that's okay because I have you guys to keep me company. So welcome to the HBR News Show, where we're going to be talking about the news of the week, some of which is crazy, some of which might be infuriating, but it's all worth it. On today's news show, we're going to be looking at the latest with journalist Taylor Lorenz, who I mainly bring up because we at HBR have some history with Taylor Lorenz. And I think watching what's been going on with her lately, she has been recently permanently suspended, I think, from Twitter. Yes. And it's obviously something that I think we should talk a bit about. In addition to that, we're also going to be looking at, a Chicago-based market research company called Reach3 Insights, I guess that's a strange name, and they have essentially conducted some kind of survey that supposedly proves that women are excluded from playing video games, and I have one more that's related, so I'm gonna mention it now. Speaking of people excluding people, Henry Cavill apparently has been accused or Me Too'd of for supposedly engaging in toxic behavior towards women on the set of The Witcher, which is a project.
I've gotta say, this is the most. Think of the most meritless Me Too you've ever heard of. This one beats that by 2.
Yeah.
Even when your accusers even have to go out of their way and say, he didn't touch anyone, or he didn't get physical with anyone, and he didn't assault or rape anyone, but he was still really, really bad.
Yeah.
Is it even a Me Too at that point?
Well, I mean,
all right, we know all the things he didn't do. What did he do?
Yeah, well,
he was pushy.
These people believe.
Oh gosh, well,
that's we're gonna get to that, but that is what it comes down to, is that Henry Cavill is a fan, of some of the stuff that he works on, and so he doesn't cave to the social pressure, where he's working. So if everybody says, oh, we're going to put, a strong female character here, and he's like, that's not in the books, they're going to treat it like harassment.
Yeah.
And so like and it's true because he's going against the grain. Like they're all saying you have to feel this way about this thing, and he's like, no, that's wrong because I read the book and I know the source material. And
my goodness, are you telling me the guy that gets paid to act like a massive alpha chad is maybe in real life a massive alpha chad?
Yeah,
so
right.
he's not acting.
No, I don't think so.
Not entirely, anyway.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, I think that, like, we're going to get into that, but I do want to talk a bit about that, too, because, once again, not that I have a problem with it, because I don't care if the word Gamergate is invoked, but the media is invoking it because they're trying to, get an emotional reaction out of the audience that might read their articles. But I think that it's important that we remind people that there's nothing to be ashamed of regarding the hashtag Gamergate. Nothing. And we should stop acting like it. It is.
When people try to resurrect Gamergate as an enemy, it's because they're bored. Like their journalism was never so
lazy.
Exciting. Right? Journalism was never so exciting for these guys as when they had Gamergate to deal with.
Or Trump.
And since the boogeyman is gone, well, even Trump, I think, was not as exciting for them as Gamergate because who do they blame for Trump?
Gamergate.
Yeah. So, without their boogeyman, they are nothing. They don't know how, they can't go back to doing their thing and they have tried to create the next Gamergate, which they never could be honest about us, so they tried to do the same thing, that the same dishonesty with pickup artists and with MGTOW and with incels, and they've even tried it with the men's rights movement.
Yeah,
but they just can't do it, so they keep invoking Gamergate.
Yep. Well, yeah, that's true. So, those are the stories we're going to be talking about. If you guys want, I'm also going to be doing a patron show after this, where I think what I'd like to do is talk about Christmas gift shopping, because I need help figuring out what to get Lindsay. And
come to the right place, Brian.
Okay. Well, I knew it. That's why I did this. So yeah.
There you go.
So if you guys want to join us and help me make selections for my wife's Christmas present, then yeah, please join us in the after show. That is something that you can only access if you are a member. But no worries, memberships are cheap. It's only $5 a month to get you into the Discord, and that will essentially get you access to the additional content, as well as the activities and such like that. Like there's gaming nights and there's movie nights, etc. So please consider joining us and becoming a Badger. And if you don't want to wake up one morning to find that we have been yeeted from the internet, please go to badgerfeed.com or honeybadgerradio.com to see where all of our content lives. And that way you're more or less on top of things, in terms of like where we are and whatnot. All right. So with all of that said, I guess we're going to get into today's stories. Which one you took number 2? So let's go ahead and jump into today's stories. We're going to be opening up with Taylor Lorenz, which I didn't think I was going to be covering today, but with the news being what it is. So, Taylor Lorenz, a reporter for the Washington Post, has been suspended from Twitter, she announced late Saturday night. She claimed in a Substack post that Twitter CEO Elon Musk was directly involved in the suspension. She also attested that she did not and has not violated Twitter's terms of service. Earlier tonight, Elon Musk suspended my Twitter account, Lorenz wrote. In the brief post, Lorenz said she only had 3 tweets live on her account at the time of the suspension, 2 of which included links to her other social media accounts And a third was a tweet sent to Musk where she was like asking him something. That's what she says. Lorenz said that she and her colleague Drew Harwell, who was also banned by Musk earlier that week, were working on a story involving Musk and were hoping to get a comment from him, she wrote. When I went to log in and see if he had responded to our query, I was suspended, Lorenz said in the Substack post. I received zero communication from the company on why I was suspended or what terms I violated. I have been on Twitter since 2010 and have run Twitter account for major media brands, including Verizon, WordPress, the Daily Mail, People Magazine, The Hill, and dozens more, she added. Never once in my 13-year career, you mean like on Twitter? In social media, have I received a single terms of service or community guidelines violation for my personal account or any account that I have run.
She is so full of shit.
Yeah, it's so fake.
Like, first off, I only have 3 tweets on my... Yeah, it's because you auto-delete all of your tweets, bitch.
Yeah.
But we remember, the internet is forever. We remember when you doxed libs of TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
We remember when you showed up outside of where that person lived. And it was just like, well, I mean, this is just where they live. I mean, I'm just doing a journalism here. This is just journalism, guys. No, that's fucking doxing, bitch. Get fucking real. You know what you did. Fess up to it. Own up to it. Elon Musk did not personally ban you. You broke the rules. You get to suffer the consequences now.
And that's really what... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, deleting all of her tweets doesn't cut the mustard, because everybody knew, not only prior to her deleting all her tweets, but I mean, she's got stuff archived. There is stuff archived of her her behavior. There are news stories about her behavior, like whole ass news stories about her causing libs of TikTok all kinds of worry and then playing victim of it, and that being her whole career. Like, that's libs of TikTok was just like the latest person she did that to. That was all she did as a reporter. She didn't do anything else. So for her to pretend that she should be in any way, shape, or form surprised by what happened, that she got banned, that's absolutely bullshit. The other thing is, there was a huge hue and cry, just equally fake, from these so-called journalists, self-titled journalists that really don't do what journalism is. That claimed that since Elon Musk banned people for doxing, that he's not pro free speech.
Did you hear about the Wikipedia article?
Well, you can tell me about it in a minute. The thing I want to point out is it isn't protected speech for me to tell somebody, for instance, that I'm going to come to their house and kill their whole family. That's not protected speech. That's considered a credible threat. If you say, I am going to do this, and you know where they live, and you're in conflict and everything, that's considered a credible threat. And you can get arrested for that. If the cops take you at your word, you can get arrested for that, right? Because you are in the act of committing a crime. And if a bunch of us got together online and planned breaking into somebody's house and killing their whole family, that's not protected speech either. You can't plan the commission of a crime. That's actually the commission of a crime itself. Conspiracy to commit crime X, and that would be murder in that case, right? So doxing falls under laws that women fought for like 50 years. Women fought tooth and nail to get harassment pared down to engaging in a course of conduct that could be reasonably expected to cause the target substantial emotional distress.
Mm-hmm.
So, in an environment where people are making credible threats, if you, in that conversation, publish someone's real world whereabouts in real time, that's it. That's enough. That's you're in the
Mhm.
process of harassing someone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also considered stalking.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not protected speech. It's not the same as criticizing Musk. So you say, Elon Musk is a poopy duty head who runs Twitter badly and we don't like him. Fine. That's protected speech. You could say that up one side and down the other. That's free speech. But to turn around and say, Elon Musk is at location X right now and looks like he'll be there for an hour, that's not.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Just
So-
to be clear.
Yeah. So what this is really about then is doxing, not whatever,
Yeah.
right? Like not free
Doxing
speech.
and the rules should be applying equally.
Yeah.
Right. The rules should be applied equally. And of course,
Wasn't there like somebody who jumped on Elon Musk's car or something?
yeah, there was an
That's
actual
That guy
attack.
Allegedly the guy came out and explained why he did all of this. He was on, I forget which news company show. But this guy is this guy is
Sounded
nuttier
unhinged.
than squirrel shit.
Yeah.
He said like Elon Musk is actually stalking him. He's receiving coded messages from Grimes' Instagrams, which is Elon's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
and he'll stop all of this. He'll stop all of this if Elon either gives him $50,000 or a Tesla.
Okay. Doesn't a Tesla cost $50,000?
I think on one of the higher end ones,
It
maybe.
hints the either or, I guess. But
Yeah, I
the thing
guess.
is, like, that just means they told a crazy person,
Yeah,
the location of somebody. So,
and that's the
Yeah.
scariest thing because you can't reason with crazy people.
yeah.
They have
No.
something weird, and Tim Pool's always fond of saying. They think, what are you going to say to the person who believes you stole all their spoons?
Yeah.
Yep.
You'll offer them some spoons.
But the thing I was going to say, the Wikipedia, like there's a tiny aside here that's just too good not to mention. So when that Thursday, when a bunch of journalists got suspended, they got super ultra mega butthurt deluxe and got
Yeah.
all of their contacts together and got a Wikipedia entry made about this incident titled "The Thursday Night Massacre."
I remember that. Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god,
Which is hilarious.
what the hell?
Yeah.
Wikipedia is literally just a lefty blog at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and this is the kind of thing you do when you think you and your select group of friends are the most important people in the world.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
and
The
I'm
rules
sure,
don't apply to you.
like, have these people, I don't know their names. Like, you'd see people talking about this person or that person said this or that about the situation, and I'm like, well, who are they? Oh, they write for this publication or that publication that you don't read.
Yeah.
Right. And that's like the whole conversation all day long was, wait, who is this person again? Oh yeah, they write for Time magazine. Oh, okay. Who's this person again? Oh yeah, they write for this or that, like, nope, not something that I read, not something
Yeah.
that, unless something is in it that we can react to on HBR News, I don't give a fuck, that they can go jump in the lake. Yeah.
Don't we have some history with Taylor Lorenz? Or am
We
I
probably do.
but like from years ago?
We've talked about her before, and I wouldn't be surprised if she was one of the journos from the one of the agri journers. But
Yeah.
I don't remember her. She's not a remarkable person.
Yeah.
What she does, literally, what she does is find somebody with wrongthink, harass them, report on her harassment of them, and then play victim of the backlash that she gets for it. That
Yeah.
is her entire career. She does not do anything else. That's like, I called this when Musk banned a bunch of other journalists for like a day for doxing him and stuff. And he gave them the courtesy, which Twitter never does for anybody else. He gave them the courtesy of some sort of call on, I don't know if it was whatever social media they used. They had a voice chat, and you can hear him in the voice chat explaining to them that doxing isn't tolerated on Twitter, and being journalists does not make them special.
Yeah.
And so, like, saying where Tesla headquarters is, not doxing, right? But saying where somebody is in the moment, in real time, when they're not doing something public. Like saying, Elon Musk is speaking at venue X at, time he's going to be speaking, and it's a public event. That's not doxing, right?
Mhm.
But saying, Elon Musk is at the grocery store right now on the corner of street and street, that's doxing. And so he explained to them that they can't do that, and that it basically, if they did that kind of stuff, they would get suspended. And he tweeted it out so people would know what the conversation was about, what he said to people, because of course, if he didn't, journalists would lie about it. They would say other things were said or claim that he didn't tell them or whatever. And somebody else tweeted back at him about it, and he said if they're naughty, they get suspended. And he, Julia something says that they were very naughty. Will they remain suspended? And my answer is, well, there goes Taylor Lorenz's whole career. And moments, maybe a day later, something along those lines. Yeah, I said it on actually 2 days later, December 16, and then on December 18, Libs of TikTok announced that Taylor Lorenz was whining about being doxxed.
I was going to mention
suspended, I mean.
I was going to mention Libs of TikTok because Taylor Lorenz doxed them as well. She's got a habit.
Yeah.
She's got a habit of doing this. So,
by the way, just going to throw this one out here. You know why her stuff's really hard to find on the Wayback Machine?
Because her father,
her uncle,
runs
the Wayback Machine.
She's got a relative that runs the Wayback Machine. Yeah. So she can control time itself. She can control the past.
If you really want something archived, archive the shit out of it. You save it on the Wayback Machine, and you save it on archive.is, and then you save the Wayback Machine archive on archive.is, and then you just bookmark all three of those.
Yeah.
With the label, because it's a lot harder for the original person to find the archive of the Wayback, like from the Wayback Machine, on archive.is.
Or like, use archive.today, because I think that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same as archive.is. There's a few different
links
that you can use to get there. But yeah, they can request to get their article removed, but the person doing the removing, or the computer program doing the removing, will look for the original link. It won't look for a link that starts with the Wayback Machine archive link. So I've done that with a few things, and it seems to be it works. You get an archive of the Wayback archive page, which is funny, but at least you have something there.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, that's the story of Taylor Lorenz and her suspension. I mean, you fuck around, you find out. I don't know what else to say, I think
at the end of the day, I mean, it's a private company, and Elon Musk can do what he wants.
That's true.
Something else that happened with this with her, like in her rant, she started talking a lot about herself, and
That's
she
what
started
these people
talking about her
do.
health problems and
Yeah.
how she spends like nearly all day in bed. And I'm thinking about this, like I have health problems out the wazoo, right?
Mhm.
And I work overtime almost every week on my main job. Like, I don't know what she's got. Maybe she's got something really serious like brittle bone syndrome or something like that, where if she does the wrong thing, she breaks bones because she doesn't have calcium or something. I don't know.
think it's brittle bones. I think it's thin skin.
Yeah,
Ha,
my
ha, ha, ha.
suspicion is that her health problem is some diagnosis like depression or anxiety or something like that,
Mhm.
which the part of the treatment for that is to combat the symptoms, right?
Mhm.
You try not to spend your whole day in bed. So I kind of wonder what she's got going on, that she's spending her whole day in bed, because I'm having my doubts.
Is Taylor Lorenz claiming that she's just like bedridden?
Yeah,
Oh
she said,
god.
to a degree. She said
I'll
that's a
spend so much
frequent
time
thing.
in bed.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Mhm.
But see,
She said that's a frequent thing, and I'm like, I grew up with people with severe health problems. I had a teacher that was very much like, she was almost a paraplegic. She was so
Mhm.
much a quadriplegic, that she was almost a. I say that backwards. She was so much a paraplegic, she was almost a quadriplegic.
Mhm.
But in any case, she taught a full career, like 30 plus years of teaching. Went to college to get her degree before the Americans with Disabilities Act ever existed. Long before places were required to be handicap accessible. But yeah, like, and the reason I know about brittle bone syndrome is because one of the guys I dated, his mother had it. And she was not bedridden either. She went places and did things. They just had to be really careful. And she had broken bones a lot.
Mhm.
So she wasn't as careful as she could have been. So, I mean, that even isn't really something that necessarily is an excuse for being bedridden. But like I know people with some really serious health conditions that are not bedridden. So I kind of wonder what's going on with her.
Yeah.
Lazy Hannah, being a raging narcissist is very tiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was. I mean, I don't know much about it. That's not my lived experience, but from what I'm told, it's not easy. All right. So let us know what you guys think about this story in the comments with regards to Taylor Lorenz and the stuff going on Twitter. Do you think that Elon Musk is right to do this, to suspend her permanently? Do you think that this is like a free speech violation that exposes Musk's hypocrisy or something? I know that this is what people on, let's say, Taylor Lorenz's side of things are arguing. So yeah, let us know what you guys think about this in the comments. All right,
I like Gnome Bloom's comment on Twitter. While Taylor Lorenz complains about journalistic ethics, let us remember the time George Conway had to go on Twitter to publicly tell her to stop contacting his 15-year-old daughter for dirt on her mom.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember reading that one.
A minor.
We've got a super chow.
Oh, good. Do you want to read it since you're looking at it?
I'm right. Yeah, I'm right there. I'll read it. From Meredith G for $5. Thank you, Meredith G. Taylor Lorenz is a malignant narcissist who will play the victim anytime she doesn't get what she wants. Well said.
Mm-hmm. Was that the end? Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
very true.
It must be nice to be such a loser and yet have a job that pays as well as the one that she has. Like, it's amazing.
All for literally just getting yourself involved in the story, becoming the story, and then bitching about how your involvement was so damaging for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Reminds
sure.
me of I don't know if you guys remember 5-second films back in the day, whose whole thing was they made little 5-second videos that were just, again, 5 seconds long, and
Mm-hmm.
it's
And
like
they
this,
did
this
like
this news anchor's like running through this crowd of people who are screaming. It's like, Aaron Daniels coming live from a shooting spree that I started.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that's pretty clever. Anyway, we're gonna move on to the final story. So let us know what you guys think about this one in the comments section. Zeranx, did I? Yeah. No. Wait. Senior Sticks gives us $2 and says, Brian, you could get her a Paltrow Goop candle. No, I'm not going to do that.
Ew,
No.
No.
It's not even cute. It's not even like a good prank gift or whatever. It's just not a good gift at all. She would be angry with me.
I'd be angry with you.
Yeah, I'd be
and
angry
I'm not
with
even
me.
Involved.
The whole world would be.
You will see the little thing in the upper left-hand corner of your heads-up display saying everyone disliked that.
That's the anti-gift. That's gonna cause us to divorce, I think. So
that's
no,
the gift that lets you know there's something wrong with you. Like who?
Yeah.
Who buys that?
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow, I guess.
But I appreciate the thought, Senior Sticks. I just couldn't bring myself to do that. Zeranx gives us $5 and says, it's amazing that this class of people not only influence nearly every aspect of our culture, but they also corner the market on violence. Seriously, WTF? Well, I won't disagree on the violence angle, but I'm actually starting to think that these people don't have the same influence that they used to have. Like, maybe I don't think that it's working as well. And what I mean is I noticed that only a couple of years ago, there was non-stop like videos and content being made about patriarchy, about sexism, about Black Lives Matter, systemic racism, and everything else. And while there are still people carrying a torch for that, it doesn't seem to be nearly as popular. And I think that many people are either the trend is over, or they're just over it and they want to move on. They want to get back to like normality. And so maybe I'm really naive, but I think that is happening right now. I think that even if they don't like fully understand like why, like this thing is getting like out of fashion, maybe they're not even thinking of it as, you know what, all of this is based on lies and we probably shouldn't have supported it to begin with. They probably won't think that, but they'll just be like, yeah, I did that. I don't really care about it anymore. So seems kind of cynical, but that's my thinking.
I don't think you're wrong, Brian. I think you're actually right.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at all of this that sprung up seemingly overnight, right around the time of Occupy Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
You look at like
after,
the search engine algorithms back then.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have the word racism being used in every other article, or sexism, or social justice. All these ideas were kind of on the back burner.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only after Occupy Wall Street was, I mean, for lack of a better word, infiltrated and destroyed from within by these overeducated college types who were like trying, okay, we got to make sure the marginalized voices are represented and the women and all you white men need to stay away from this.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh, look, your movement goes bye-bye. Geez, I'm sure you just saved a lot of bankers some sleepless nights.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what it seems like it was. It was a coordinated push to go, hey, oh crap, the common man is figuring things out. Shit, we got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And then they push these divide and conquer sort of tactics. They started writing, the huge shift with social justice. Tim Pool talked about this extensively due to his time from Vice, where they basically overnight were just like, hey guys, new marching orders, demographic shift, completely overhaul. We're doing nothing but social justice now.
Yeah.
And they cornered that market, flooded that market, oversaturated that market, and the chickens are starting to come home to roost.
Mm-hmm.
You've got CNN, who's undergoing massive restructuring right now.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who else it was. MSNBC, I think it was. Who basically, they had like a meeting where they're like, yeah, we're probably going to be laying off a shit ton of people, and like people start standing up at the meeting and go like, hey, whoa, hey, what does that mean me? Does that mean my friends? Does that mean my boss? What does that mean? And they all start yelling at each other, and a lot of these journalistic outlets, I say with gigantic pterodactyl sized air quotes, are getting thrown by the wayside because it's like, yeah, we don't need you anymore, and a lot of people are realizing it's like maybe we never needed them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's possible that the powers that be, the people that have been funding this stuff, think that they have accomplished what they needed to accomplish, and they don't need them anymore.
Yeah,
so
very well
this
be the
could be
case
good
as well.
news. It could be scary as fuck news. I guess we'll find out.
Could mean they're just prepping for the next psyop.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned, America.
All right. So, So let us know what you guys think. I'm going to move on to the next story. Wait, that was just the first one? Oh, I guess you got to do... Yeah, okay. We're going to move on to the next story. So we're going to be talking about gamer girls.
And how they need to go home.
Yeah, and how they need to go home.
I am home.
Go homer.
Leave and then go home.
There we go.
So, Mike J, why don't you talk to us about the exclusion and or whatever's going on in the gaming universe.
Chicago-based market research company Reach 3 Insights, that is Reach with the number 3 at the end like it's one word, Insights, has partnered with technology company Lenovo to research women who play the video games.
That's our taxpayer dollars at work, guys.
Well, I think okay, so a little bit of cart being put before the horse. I think this company is basically, it's a market research company. They like say, hey, we have an inside track on what the people are thinking. You, unwitting technology company, give me money and we will make your people like you more. Because we know what they're thinking.
And then they pull shit like that.
I mean, it just goes out of their way. Like, what do they call Lenovo in collaboration with sorry about that. Have to hide my phone.
Was that your epic sax guy?
Yes, epic sax guy is my ringtone. Guilty as charged. But just the way they address Lenovo here, in collaboration with global technology leader Lenovo. That's maybe a little bit too much importance. Lenovo is what you buy when you can't afford a Samsung.
Oh,
yeah, I was gonna say.
They make they're great like Facebook machines. I'll say that much. They're like a great grandma laptop, but I don't know about global technology leader.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that's the get the horse properly aligned with the card here. So, they surveyed 900 women across China, Germany, and the U.S., and 98 men in the United States. I don't know why they interviewed the men. That never comes up again, but that's there. So, I'm not sure about that, but whatever. So they released the following data points after conducting the survey. So gonna hit you with the data here. And
Here we go.
also, despite trying my best, I was not able to find their methodology or the way they phrase their questionings or anything like that. So we got a lot of guesswork here. But the data as it stands. So the biggest thing they say, women are playing the same games as men. 88% of women gamers are surveyed are playing competition-style games. And again, I really wanted to try to find
who did they survey.
And what is a competition-style game?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, by competition-style games, are you referring to, Fortnite, Call of Duty? Like, there are some games that are they have an extremely high base skill level to like play, or could it be anything that's competitive, which could be
anything where a player is pitted against another player? Because in that case, I mean, you could. There's a bunch of mobile games that do the same thing.
Yeah, or what is the one that I know it's really popular with women? It's League of Legends. Or the other MOBAs. Yeah, exactly. MOBAs. Those can be really competitive. So, like, it seems like that's a very broad way of describing, a genre in order to... And it makes me think or wonder if there are really as many women playing every genre or, like they're claiming, right?
Well, let's keep that in mind. Let's go on.
Okay.
75% said they're playing action/survival style games, and 66% play shooters.
Wait, so there's competition style games, which typically include shooters, and then there's shooters. I mean, this categorization is kind of confusing.
It's weird. It's a little weird to say the least, yes.
And action
it does kind of
/
make you wonder what they're categorizing as what.
Yeah.
And how.
And they're action / survival style games. Like, okay.
So, would you count Minecraft as one of those?
Yeah. Would you count Minecraft? Would you count, say, like, could it just be a survival style game or just be an action game? Like,
great questions.
I'm
for them to clarify this.
It's a little bit. I'm not a fan of this. These terms that they're using.
Yeah.
I wish we had clarification. So, moving on. 77% of women responded dealing with at least some sort of frustration when gaming because of their gender. Judgment of skills, 70%. Gatekeeping, 65%. And patronizing comments, 50%. Were the most reported types of comments women gamers said they received while gaming online. In addition, 44% of women gamer respondents have received unsolicited relationship asks while gaming.
Oh,
Jesus, Pete.
no.
That's boo-hoo.
Oh my God, someone likes me so enough to want to date me. It's so terrible. My life is hell.
Some of this is not compatible, all right? Like, the gatekeeping thing is obviously get out. You don't belong here. We don't want you here. But the same people are certainly not going to be engaging in unsolicited relationship asks.
Yeah.
So obviously, when they're talking about gatekeeping, what they're really saying is they didn't let us come in and change everything about the environment that we thought was so cool that we wanted to be part of it.
Yeah.
Right? And personally, I don't consider that to be gatekeeping. I consider that to be defending your territory. Gatekeeping is not letting someone be involved. Like, you really can't gatekeep games. People can buy them and play them whether you like it or not.
Exactly.
Right? So there is no such thing as gatekeeping in gaming. It's not possible. There is physically not a way for it to happen.
Mhm.
It is never going to be a real thing. When feminists accuse you of gatekeeping, you should call them liars because they are lying. Gatekeeping does not and cannot happen.
Mhm.
You can tell somebody that you won't play with them. You can tell people that if you have a particular group in your home, that they can't be part of that. You can't stop
Mhm.
them from forming their own. You can't stop them from getting online. You can't stop them from joining somebody else's group.
Mhm.
So yeah, gatekeeping is not real. Telling
Mhm.
somebody, no, I'm not going to do this your way when I do it. And the industry doesn't need to change for you. If you want to be part of this, be part of what it actually is. That's not gatekeeping.
Nope.
That is defending existing territory. That
Yeah.
is refusing to change for another person. There is no gate involved there.
Mm-mm.
That's, you can come in, but you are part of this environment. You don't get to change it.
Mhm.
And to call it gatekeeping is a misnomer. So when feminists accuse you of gatekeeping, you are entitled to call them liars, and in my opinion, you're responsible to call them liars.
Mhm.
Just like like I said before, if I was publicly speaking somewhere and someone published, Hannah Wallen's going to be speaking at such and such place, and we'd already published it, that's not doxing. So if somebody
Right.
accused that person of doxing, everybody would have a right to call the accuser a liar.
Mhm.
Gatekeeping is a false allegation, and you should treat it that way.
Yep.
I would go as far as to say, change unsolicited relationship asks while gaming to unsolicited suicide requests, and then
Yeah.
pump every number there up by 10%. And
You got-
congratulations, you have the male experience while gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It was
Yeah,
not
a
less than
100% of men deal with some
Yeah.
sort of frustration,
Of
like
course.
judgment of skills,
Yep.
patronizing comments.
Yep. They get cussed out. They get whatever.
I less than 2 weeks ago playing Overwatch 2, I had one guy in the calmest, most rational sounding voice get on the microphone and say, "Hey, you, my name in game. Hey, buddy, you really need to switch to a different tank. Switch to a different tank, and I'm gonna be completely honest here. You need to kill yourself. You need to commit suicide. You need to end your life because you are a waste of space and we're going to lose because of you."
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was just in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what'd you switch to?
I didn't. I fucking stayed. I like Chunker Queen.
Okay. Okay.
Did you lose?
Oh yeah, on purpose at that point.
Yeah. It wasn't like you guys were you guys playing like ranked?
Oh no, this was fucking like arcade.
Yeah,
I
sure.
go to arcade when I want to get drunk and play video games.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to try at all.
Yeah.
I don't want to like try hard. I don't want to sweat. I just want to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go play, like those weird arcade modes where it's like anyone there you can select any class and you can have multiple of the same class. So you could like go monkey mode and do 6 or 5 Winstons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always fun to try to convince the other team to all switch to the same class. So you just got 10 monkeys duking it out.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, we're back to the article, or to the write-up. So where did we leave off?
So next data point, next data string. And this one is really interesting because it really made me think.
Mm.
The claim here is that 59% of women surveyed use either a non-gendered or male identity when playing games online, specifically to avoid conflict. And that got me thinking, that got the noggin a jogging. How many people's gamer tags are actually gendered?
Mm. Do you get to?
And
Yeah, that's a good question. Do you get to pick that? Because I don't have a gamer tag to my knowledge.
I mean, on I don't know how it works on. Well, I mean, yeah, on console I had a gamer tag. On Steam I've got a gamer tag. On Blizzard's bullshit thing, there's a gamer tag. And in what I'm using right now, I'm not gonna say it, but it's gender neutral. It's yeah. I'm trying to think of like other things I went after, like when I played Counter-Strike, like way back when I was in like PC cafes, my name was Bounty Hunter. And that's fairly gender neutral.
Yeah. I
took a look at like, remember we did the Game Awards the other week, and I took a look at like the people that won the esports games. And they all have like very gender neutral names. They're like something like a word, like one guy was simple, like the word simple, but with the number 1 instead of the I. The only gendered name I could find was Kerrigan, and that was like that was a chubby white dude who played CS:GO.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Your tag doesn't necessarily tell anybody anything about your gender. And it's very much like social media, right? And unless you can see the person that you're talking to, you don't know anything about them. Right? I used to be friends with a guy that went by the name Misconception.
That's nice.
Yeah, Misconception. Like old guy went by this. Miss is a young woman's label. Went by Misconception. Just stuff like that. I haven't had time because of my circumstances for a few years. To play any like console games or computer games where I would get online and engage with people. I have like time wasters on my phone, and all of my games on my phone are almost all of them are I guess war games, or like not tower defense but castle defense. And clan versus clan type games where you've got a guild or a something that's like a guild, and you go up against the other guilds in competition. Like they're almost all competitive games, and my name in most of those games is something gender neutral. Like I'm in one of my games, I just go by that guy. Which people always like to tell you when they call you a guy on Twitter that, well, that's gender neutral. No, hey guys, that's like, right. So I just go by that guy.
I'm a dude, she's a dude, he's a dude.
He's a dude, right. And it's not. I do comedy names, things that'll make people laugh, right?
Things that are like puns.
Yeah, things that are like puns. If I'm not doing that, I call myself your mom, or Onero's grip, like I do on Twitter. I don't ever see anybody else using it, so I'll do that, or some weird, like I probably have 10 or 15 different things that I've used in the past for stuff like that. But it's not to avoid conflict. It has absolutely nothing to do with conflict. Like if you're playing competitive games, you're in it for conflict. That's the whole fucking point of the game. So it's kind of dumb to say, I'm going to do this to avoid conflict. Women who say that haven't experienced conflict and then changed what they were doing. They're just assuming that they're going to get harassed because, well, men do that.
That's what they've been told. Yeah.
Right? That's what they've been told. Or they're just misandric. That's their personality. So they assume bad faith, and then they engage in confirmation bias by creating a circumstance that they're going to claim, well, if I do this, then I won't get that bad faith. And then when they don't get bad faith, well, it's because I did this. No, it's not because you wore your special lucky socks for 6 weeks in a row and did not wash them. it's because you played the game well, right?
Yeah.
Because you actually did what people do when they play these games. So it's bullshit. This whole thing is just bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not even sure that I buy that they're picking these kind of like non-gendered, names because they're afraid of conflict. I don't buy that. First of all, everyone gets shit. Second of all, if you really want to test this theory, start a new tag with the most feminine type name that you could possibly come up with, like princess, I don't know, like princess mushroom shoes or something, and see how the men treat you.
Princess Raven Moondragon.
Yeah, Princess Raven Moondragon. There you go. And see how the community treats you. And I would bet that they might, find it more funny. Like they will believe that you did this as a purposeful joke, And they probably, because it's especially if you're playing like a hardcore competitive game, right? If someone comes in and they're like, their name is like cinnamon titty sprinkles, and with like, I don't know, like princess cinnamon titty sprinkles, they're probably going to find that really funny. And
if I saw somebody with that name, I would immediately assume that it's probably a 50-year-old man.
Yeah, they probably assume it was a dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think they would, but again, even if they didn't, I don't think you're gonna experience a lot of harassment. I mean, unless you're just some boring player that just puts their real name, which I wouldn't suggest. But like some people might, because they're boring.
I see that. Well, I don't think it's boring. I see that, and I always assume they're children.
Call yourself Leroy Jenkins.
Because like a while ago, YouTube had that thing where it's like, okay, that's your screen name. Now put in your real name so we can link this account to you.
Yeah.
And so many people like put in like, fuck you, I'm not telling you my real name. But you had a lot of like children putting in their honest to God full first and last names.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
before we
I could see
get
it.
on to the next point, I got to tell you one funny story related to Overwatch. So more in the Overwatch 2 or more in the Overwatch 1 days rather than Overwatch 2. The name I use in game, I guess, is fairly close to a female member of I guess she does something like she runs like either an unofficial or official podcast or something for Blizzard.
So she's got ties to Blizzard.
Yeah, and it's a similar enough screen name, except hers is like mine, but it's spelled wrong. Mm-hmm. And people will see that in game and be like, "Oh my god, are you that person's name from that show?" And I used to deny it, but then I got it asked so many times, I would eventually just go, "Yeah, say hi to the chat," and typing in the group chat. And it'd be funny how some people would like start fanboying or fangirling, and then at the end of the match, I'd jump on mic and be like, "That was a good game, guys. See you later."
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's carry on with the.
All right. So moving on. 71% of participants, and this is where we start getting weird. 71% of participants said that companies can foster more inclusive behaviors in gaming by having a greater presence of different groups in gaming ads.
What does that have to do with?
What an odd thing to say.
Yeah, that's silly.
So, were they asked? Which seems like
Brian.
They must have been. They must have. So they were asked during this survey, "Hey, if we showed more ads that showed more diversity," because that's basically what he's saying, right? In the ads, do you think that will foster more inclusive behavior? And I guess enough people said yeah, because in general people are not against diversity, so they're just going to be like, yeah, I guess that sounds good. But that's
How could you be
really
against diversity, equity,
Yeah.
and inclusion. Are you some kind of bigot?
yeah, exactly. But
We
like
have
that,
the diversity.
it's out of nowhere. So that's, it makes me think that this could be like an ad itself. Because why would you even mention that?
Sort of.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to use this. It's a market research company, right? So they're going to,
that's kind of what they do.
So they're
And it's
probably
funny, like,
going
I
to use
was-
this.
I was going around, I was clicking on every link I could in the site, and trust me, there are not lots of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes basically they're like touting their like I don't know if it's a software they use,
Mm-hmm.
but it's some sort of software that they're pushing for connecting. It's called Rival. I don't know much more about it. They say apparently they helped Snapchat. They're working with, of all things, Jägermeister,
Mm-hmm.
which I was like, okay, that's
Weird.
weird.
Yeah, that is.
And I looked at like what other things they're working with, what other entities. I'm trying to find the one, but it was one that I know I'd heard of in the past, and I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds familiar. I don't remember if it was TV, but it's Revolt Media.
Okay. I don't know.
They're very sort of activisty, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And their whole thing is it's when you start reading like their little mantra, it's like, yeah, they're very, very clearly social justice-y.
Yeah.
The word BIPOC gets thrown around quite a bit.
Oh boy.
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was kind of the sound I made.
BIPOC just sounds like a sexually transmitted disease that you get from
thank
sleeping
you.
around with people of both sexes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
you got the BIPOCs. Oh man,
Mhm.
it's so itchy.
Yep.
Ew. All right. Well, moving on. I guess.
Moving on, yes,
Yeah.
and just a little ending, a little blurb from the senior vice president of this organization, Reach 3 Insights. Reach 3 Insights senior vice president Leigh Admirand had the following to say concerning the study. Quote, despite still being mostly associated with men, gaming
Ugh.
is on the rise with women. We
Yeah,
were
we're
thrilled to
thinking-
work with Lenovo on this study, as we hope it will help companies create a more inclusive gaming environment for women gamers and lead to long-term change in the industry.
Like they know there have been women and girls gaming since like
There has been gaming.
Nope, brand new thing, brand new
start
phenomenon.
of games, right? Like, there were women and girls gaming when it was all just tabletop games and there were no computers.
Yep. And it was just those cabinets. And of course, women have been playing them. I mean, they're less interested in them than men overall, but that doesn't mean that they weren't, it wasn't made available to women. That's ridiculous.
Like, there were female war gamers when
Mhm.
competitive gaming was chess.
Mm-hmm. Of course. Yeah, even before video games is what you're kind of saying,
Exactly,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Before computers were used for any kind of entertainment at all. Like, before there were arcades that had anything
Mhm.
besides like pinball.
Mm-hmm.
And before there were electronic games with any kind of display, like, and anything that wasn't physical.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
There
think
were
that
female pinball players.
of course, sure. They were probably like, didn't they have like tournaments, like pinball
Yep.
tournaments? Yeah.
Yeah, there were big pinball tournaments, and then there were local pinball tournaments.
Mhm.
Like, this is not something that, like, women have never ever been kept out of this. This has never ever been a thing Like what they're saying has never ever been a thing. It's just not true.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. I get it. Yeah. Does anyone else have any thoughts on this story, which obviously has a lot of problems with facts? And
this is just another
data.
Slimy marketing research company that is trying to sell a bunch of companies that they've done all the research, they have all the answers. You just need to cater so much harder to this minority demographic group, and then you will not just have most of the money, you will have all of the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is just a version of the feminist advocacy research scam. Like they create an underdog, then they create a confirmation bias to prove the underdog, and then they sell you advice on how to rescue the underdog, and they demand money to continue to research the underdog so that they can continue to prove to you that you need to put out all of the effort you can to rescue the underdog and pay them for more advice. That's feminism in a nutshell. That is all feminists do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is pretty much the same thing.
Well, speaking of, because I think there's something similar going on with the next story. This is the last story, but I think there's something that sort of links these things. So see if you guys can figure it out. So let me see if we have any super chats. Yes, I do. Dragon Noodle Soup Gaming gives us $5. Thank you, Dragon Noodle Soup Gaming. And he says, Mike, how many times do I have to tell you to be a voice actor? I guess he really likes the sound of your voice.
Oh, thank you very much, Dragon. And hey, Dragon, good to hear from you, buddy.
Yeah. I think you could. And the money is
voice actor.
The money is good.
Well, if there's one thing I learned from the Vic Mignogna saga, I do not have the right opinions.
There is that. That's true. Okay, so let us know what you guys think about this story in the comments. We're going to move on to the last story. So I know that like on yesterday's Nerdcast, I talked a little bit about Henry Cavill and how, he was fired from playing Superman, and because James Gunn wanted to start over, but that I'm talking about Henry Cavill today as well, but it's got nothing to do with that stuff. This is something I learned very recently. So apparently, and I think it's connected to what happened with him getting fired by Warner Brothers and James Gunn. He's like off of the Superman project. He's not doing it anymore. But what I suspect is that there are people trying to tarnish his reputation as well. It's either because they just see blood in the water, or whatever. Doesn't seem to matter. So there's always been chatter about Henry Cavill's personality. This is from the article, okay? So it's probably like not precise. People who find him on casual outings have mixed accounts of what he is really like. Women who find him attractive tend to speak wonders about him, and there are some dark rumors that have always been present around the actor. So you can already see how they're like poisoning the well a little bit. When he quit the Witcher franchise because he thought he was playing Superman for a few more years, there were rumors of the actor actually getting fired from the production. All right, so just to clarify, to my knowledge, he wasn't fired from The Witcher. He quit, and he really wanted to play Superman. And his reason for quitting The Witcher was that he didn't like the way that the direction that the story was going. That he didn't like the script because it wasn't faithful. And this, I think, is ultimately like his sin. His greatest sin is that he is a geek fanboy of The Witcher, because he was a fan, like he read the books and stuff. He was a fan of Superman, and also a big fan of Warhammer. But we're gonna come back to that. So that meant that he was like us. Like if he saw something that didn't look like it was going to work because it was like betraying the source material too much or whatever, he was vocal. He would say something. He told them that, you know, he was like this guy on set for The Witcher saying, well, this is how, you know, the author of the books would have done this. And so what I think happened is he pissed off all of the showrunners and people that were involved because they wanted to do their own thing and he wanted to stick to the source material. And I guess we can get into a debate about whether or not either of those is a great idea. But the point is that he basically came into a situation where there were people who are not accustomed to other people saying, no, that's not right. And then like sort of pushing back. And I think that they grew to hate him for that. Because most people just like, I think in Hollywood, they're just sort of like, well, I'm just going to get along. What does it go along to get along? And they don't want to like start any shit because they want this job. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. Right? So he did end up quitting the Witcher franchise because he could see the writing on the wall. It's going to shit. But he really wanted to play Superman because he thought that he could do it justice, and he really wanted to do it justice. But that didn't happen either. So, celebrity gossip account. God, I hate this shit. The rumor is that he was fired from The Witcher because of his toxic behavior against women. So this is the story, okay? He is accused,
and they throw all these things out there. They say all of this, and they're saying nothing. We have nothing so far. It's just, well, he was exhibiting behaviors unbecoming. Okay, what were the behaviors?
Yeah, that's the big thing. If you are going to be accused of something like that, people should have the right to judge whether or not they think that it actually is toxic. Like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. So,
you know, just the general overarching toxicity of his masculinity.
Well,
okay, but let's get into it and see if they actually have anything to say.
Well, it says the rumor is, so you know, we're this is all rumors right now, I guess. The rumor is Henry Cavill was fired from the Witcher franchise because of his toxic behavior against women. He is accused of treating women writers, director, and other people from the production team with disrespect. So he disagreed with them.
Wow, that doesn't sound totally subjective.
Yeah, like basically, I think that they said, well, we want this show to go in this direction and fuck what the source material says. And he said no. And that's it. That's all, because when these feminist women, and they are feminist women, I actually think that there was a news story that maybe I'm thinking about, like, what's that? Rings of Power? It might be Rings of Power. Like what they're going to do for season 2 is essentially just make sure that all of the directors are women. Like that's their winning move.
Oh, good grief!
Yeah, it's going to be awful.
It wasn't bad enough. Now they're going to pick people based on gender instead of skill to run the show.
All semblance
that's
of
great.
Attempting to make a good product has gone out the window.
No, it's all gone.
This is just an exercise in point scoring, ticking off check boxes.
So essentially, because Bezos said that the entire future of streaming for Amazon rests on that product. So I guess Amazon streaming is not really going to be much of a thing.
I don't know. And then, okay.
Like, unless there's enough people hate watching it to cause it to be profitable, which don't do that.
Yeah. And then they're also linking Cavill to another way that they're linking him to toxic behavior against women is the fact that he plays video games.
Oh my God! Once again, Brian. Once again, Brian, proving gamers are truly the most oppressed minority.
And it says due to his apparent addiction to video games. So now we know.
Addiction.
Yeah. So Henry Cavill has a problem when he's not like lifting weights, he's playing Fortnite or something. Many who
because
accused
when a man plays video games, he must be addicted.
Yeah, it's got to be an addiction, right? Many who
when a woman
accused
plays
him.
video games, she must be accommodated. But when a man plays video games, he must be addicted.
Well, yeah, when a woman plays video games, she just has a variety of interests, and that's one of them.
Clearly.
Yeah. Many who accused him of this behavior, that is to be addicted to video games, believe Cavill got this attitude from the toxic gaming environment. It is known as video game bro language, and it's highly confrontational. Basically, Henry Cavill is accused of behaving like a so-called dude bro against women. Now, I've seen a lot of interviews with this guy. I don't.
Tell me.
Well,
being a dude bro to women doesn't tell me anything.
Doesn't matter. Dude bro is sexist language, right? Like from what I've seen, because I've been called a dude bro. From what I've seen, you get called a dude bro if you believe in objective fact and logical assessment of sets of objective facts. Like that's it. So if a thing is true, this is the name of the character in the story, and somebody wants to change it, or the character in the story is male, and somebody wants to change it, right? And you say, but the character in the story actually is male, so you're not being true to the story. You're changing it. This is going to upset some of the fans. You get called a dude bro. That's it.
Yep.
If you quote a statistic on something, to prove that a person's claim about something is realistic or unrealistic, you get called a dude bro.
Yeah.
Like this is how gravity works. If you do this in game, in your imaginary roleplay game, and you don't do it this way, then you are adding a level of imaginary stuff that isn't part of the game structure, because this is how gravity works.
Whoa, hey now, Hannah, stop dude broing, please.
Yeah,
please.
exactly. That is the use of the word dude bro that I'm familiar with. And if that's what they're accusing him of, then they're being sexist.
Yeah.
Now, 1 second. Let's take just 1 second to hold up the mirror of a reflection to this. Imagine if we flipped everything on its head, so to speak, and we've got a female actress. Hannah, quick, give me.
I'd like to nominate.
I'd
like to nominate Jennifer Lawrence, because she did everything. She did everything first. So
if Jennifer Lawrence walks onto, I don't know, like there's gonna be let's say they're gonna make another Ghost in the Shell movie, and it's a team. They finally get the team of the nerdiest nerds together to be like, all right, we're gonna actually do standalone Complex as a full-length movie. We're gonna try to cram as much of it in there. We're gonna respect the lore. And Jennifer Lawrence just walks on set and goes, actually, Motoko Kusanagi is a man. And the second that gets leaked out, and that she was hard to work with and so overbearingly, toxically feminine, and just constantly fighting us, these same people that are going to be decrying this are going to be lining up to go, oh, Yas Queen, slay! You girl boss, you go, girl!
Yeah.
Of course.
Unless she is a non-feminist, an outspoken non-feminist, who is butting heads with feminists who have a goal in mind. They're doing this for a reason. And then they won't say, yes, queen, you go, girl. It'll be, what's wrong with you, you pick me?
Yeah.
Internalized misogyny. How dare you? You're just pandering to men. He's not going to sleep with you.
Yeah. All that's true. All right.
It really
is there
pisses
any
them
more?
off,
Are there
by the way,
any
when
more?
you answer with
Yeah.
"But he did last night."
I think there is a little more. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting to hear like he just absolutely backhanded one of these women and they flew across, across the horizon. Like he really does have the strength of Superman.
No. Okay. So this wasn't always the case with Henry. He was reportedly a well-behaved person during season 1 of The Witcher. Now remember, and this is ultimately what this is all about. I believe that the problem with Henry Cavill is simply that he can be disagreeable. That's it. And they don't like that. They
He's
don't.
a Hollywood actor.
Yeah, but it's more than that though, because what he's trying to do is something in defense of the fan base. So he's of the belief that if you change too much or change anything that you don't really have to change, the fans aren't going to be happy because they know, like, who other than fans of the Witcher books or video games are the baseline fan base or the audience for this show. And I think that, like, to essentially prioritize them it's just good common sense. But the women who are running this show, and it is mostly women, they don't like that he's correcting them. Because remember, that's basically like mansplaining, number one. But like, also, it harms their ego because, you know, like these showrunners, they want more than anything to be considered right all the time. So if they change something and somebody says that's not right, you know, it should be like this, that will make more of the fans happy. That pisses them off because they don't like these showrunners. They don't like the fans. They hate you. They really do. Like they don't like the fans. They don't like the source material. They don't like good stories. What they want is control over the franchise because they think they can use it for something completely different, which is essentially driving home.
It's all activism and
it's all activism.
A little more cynically, probably a payday. Yeah,
for sure. And they're going to get the payday regardless, because I don't know. There's something with the money here, and this is true of like Disney and the MCU and all these other things, where these people get paid regardless as to how successful, you know, their content is. So when somebody says like, you know, get woke, go broke, it doesn't always play out that way. Yeah, shows get canceled. I know that, you know, like that's happened and some movies have been canceled, but the people involved, they're not broke. They're still millionaires, you know, so like, they don't really care. I think that ultimately they just want to tear down everything that we love, and that for them is a more important victory in the long run than, say, trying to, you know, be loyal. And also they don't like the idea of loyalty to intellectual property because they feel like now they have to be in service to something as opposed to, you know, doing it themselves, you know, feeding into their own ego and stuff. So I just wanted to point that out about Cavill. What he's trying to do doesn't really have a lot to do with his own ego. And I mean, I say that with some trepidation because I don't know, you know, for sure but it seems to me that he's like just a fan of the material and he just wants it to be represented correctly and he wants to be able to say that he was a part of that. And so what are they doing? Well, they're basically trying to tarnish his reputation. That seems to be what this is all about. Yeah. They can't level any like actual criminal charges. They can't, you know, like bring out a woman, a teary-eyed woman to talk about what Cavill did to her, you know, when no one was looking. Like none of that, because they don't have a leg to stand on. They don't have anyone they can do that with.
Because it never happened because Cavill was too busy gaming.
Yeah, he was too busy painting his Warhammer figurines. And
One of the
what do they say instead is that he was really hard to work with and that he was a dude bro. And look, he played video games. So basically, he's Gamergate. And I think there was an article that even said that he's basically like some Gamergate avatar.
You know, if that, you know what? Deal.
Yeah, I'll take it.
We could do worse. We could really do a lot worse.
Yeah, right.
one of the things you really got to pay attention to in something like this is the weasel language. And the weasel language is when they come in and nothing they say is identifiable.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you, and it may not even be so much. There's two reasons, and the women do this all the time. There's two reasons that women will do it. One is that they want attention for themselves. So somebody may have decided that she wanted sympathy from people at work or sympathy from the public, and started saying a bunch of shit, like this. He's unapproachable. He's unwelcoming. He's disrespectful.
Difficult.
But you can't name a thing that he did that was disrespectful or difficult because there isn't anything. It's just this guy is generally this or generally that, and those generalized statements, that's a way of making yourself the victim of somebody else's presence. And it may just be that he had boundaries, personal boundaries, or he had boundaries in regard to his methods, his way of doing things, and that's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with having boundaries where you say, well, yeah, I'd love to be part of this project, but there are some ways that I don't engage, or there's some ways that I don't work, and I won't be part of doing X, Y, or Z. And if you want me to be involved, then that's the way we got to do things. That's not bad. That's you having standards, right? So people that want to undermine your boundaries and your standards will do the same thing. They'll use those kind of general terms. And it's the extreme version of that is people playing victim of your sexual boundaries, like the whole if you don't like trans women, you're transphobic thing,
right?
Or the way pedophiles will treat you like you're aggressive if you criticize their activities toward children. Right, but it goes through every aspect of your life, and this is a way that gets used. You've used the term gatekeeping and everything, but defending your territory against change that you don't want, defending your territory against corruption, basically. They'll do this same thing with regard to that. So if you say, we have this gaming group, or we have this game that's been created, this is the way the game is played, these are the rules, this is the environment, this is the lingo, this is the culture of it, and somebody comes along and says, well, I want to be part of all of that, but I want you to change everything about it to suit my sensibilities, and you say no, they're going to come along and say, well, you're not welcoming, you're not approachable, you're not decent. Well, what did we do that wasn't welcoming, approachable, or decent? Well, you just don't let women join. You just don't let women be part of it. Well, there are 3 other women here besides you. Well, but I'm not comfortable. Well, why aren't you comfortable? What's different for you? Well, I don't find you guys approachable and decent. Right? And that's all you will ever get from them. You won't get specificity. Because they won't be able to tell you.
If you don't gatekeep your favorite hobby, pretty soon your favorite hobby will no longer be your favorite hobby.
That's not gatekeeping. That is simply defending your territory.
Well,
that's
whatever
not
word you want to use for it.
Like, she can come in. She just can't make you do things her way. It's not gatekeeping. The gate's wide open. You can come in, and you can get the fuck out if you don't want to be in the environment that you walked into. But the environment is not going to change to suit your highness's fantasy.
We need a new word for this then.
Gatekeeping is you can't come in. You can't sit with us. That's gatekeeping.
So we don't. It's not gatekeeping. The gate is open, but once you find yourself in the building, you will notice there is security.
Yeah. You're not allowed to tell other people that they have to change to suit your sensibilities. You're not allowed to kick other people out. And that's basically what they're doing. They're not unwelcome. They're claiming to be unwelcome if they don't get to come in and kick other people out. And that's probably what's going on here too, is that these women that are allegedly complaining, if there were complaints, because this could just be a celebrity gossip account stirring shit where nobody ever said a word, because it's really easy to make this kind of shit up, and it doesn't matter if nobody ever said it to begin with.
Yeah.
There's another thing that happens with women. You have a workplace full of women, and you have, Bob as part of this workplace full of women. Not one woman has to have ever said a single word against Bob. They could all get along great with Bob. They could adore the shit out of Bob. And the minute that someone comes along and says, "Well, I heard that Bob was really inhospitable towards some of the gals recently. Have you experienced that?" All of a sudden, there will be shit talk about Bob. Bob will suddenly be persona non gratis. And his entire character, his entire reputation gets torpedoed within, a few days. Every single woman will have a story about him, not because any of them previously had any resentment or any problems with Bob, but because they believe that at least one of the other women does, and therefore Bob must go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that may be what happened here as well. So you always got to watch for the weasel language, where it's you're being described in negative terms, but there is no example of what you did.
Yeah. All right. Anyone else have any thoughts on this Henry Cavill story? All right, I guess
wrap it up.
I think we're done.
It's a good length show.
Mm-hmm. I think it worked out. All right.
Tiny bit shorter than normal, but not by much.
No, I normally aim for hour and a half. So this is actually about 6 minutes longer than I was hoping, but this is good. No, it's good. I think that we, covered some good ground, and I look forward to seeing your thoughts in the comment section after this video has been uploaded. So yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up here. So we're gonna head into the patron only show and hang out with the patrons. I had a story, but I can't find it now. So that's why I said, well, maybe they can help me shop for my wife's Christmas present, because I have no idea what I'm gonna do. So I gotta pick something. And I know I waited too long to do this. It's okay. I have backups in case I can't find anything. So anyway, if you guys like this video, please hit like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, hit the bell for notifications, leave us a comment, let us know what you guys think about what we discussed on the show and the stories, and most importantly, please share this video, because sharing is caring. Thank you guys so much for coming on today's episode of HBR News, and we will talk to you all in the next video.
Men's rights activists are machines, dude. Okay? They are literal machines. They are talking point machines. They are impossible to fucking deal with, especially if you have a couple dudes who have good memory on top of that too. Holy shit, you're fucked.